Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the Lord of the worlds, we thank Him, we glorify His name for His mercy and blessing on us. We pray for His mercy and blessing on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May the peace and blessing continue to be upon His household, His companion, and all the Muslims to the day of Qiyamah. Our class continues today, inshallah. We are still with the book Kitabu Tawhid by Sheikh Al-Fawzan, and we are still on the second chapter and the sixth section. So today, inshallah, we move to the next section. So the section we concluded was yesterday was the section I was talking about al-intimahu ila madahib al-hiliyadiyya wa azab al-jahiliyya. But the next section under it is the one that is talking about al-nadhariyya al-madiyya lil-hayati wal-mafasid al-nadhariyya. That the view of materialistic view of the world. So the topic is talking about viewing things from material viewpoint or from a material perspective. So in other words, the topic we want to discuss that one of the danger or one of the harm to our Tawhid or belief system is when we live or when we view or when our expectation in this life is all about worldly gain. It's all about worldly materials. It's all about material things, and no more, no less. And this is actually different from the reason why Allah has created us. So Allah says in Surah Al-Mulk, Allah says, "Alladhi khalaqa al-mawta wal hayata liyabluwakum ayyukum ahsanu amala." Allah said the reason why He has created the life and the death. This life we live, and even the life before and the life after this life. Allah said the reason why He has created the two is because of what? لِيَبِلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. Allah is only to test which of you is going to have the best quality of deeds. Allah said no more, no less. That is just the reason. And the life we are actually living here is not the real life, it's not the actual life. Allah said, وَإِنَّ دَارَ الْآخِرَةِ لَهِيَ الْحَيَوَانُ. The real life is when you die and you are admitted to the Jannah, to the paradise. And this world is actually supposed to be a what? Supposed to be a means to the world, to the hereafter. It's also to be a place of preparation for hereafter. If because of this world you abandon or you ignore the world of the hereafter, it means there will be no gain for you, there will be no portion for you on the day of Qiyamah. Like Allah also mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf, Allah said, "Inna ja'alna ma 'ala al-ardi zinatan laha linabluwahum ayyuhum ahsanu amala." Allah said everything in this world that has preoccupied us, that has taken our life, like Allah also mentioned, Allah said, "Alhaakum takathur hatta zurtumul maqabir, kalla sawfa ta'lamun, thumma kalla sawfa." So you have been preoccupied with what? With the worldly things, with accumulation of worldly gain. Like Allah also says in Surah Al-Hadid, Allah said, "Ilamu annama al-hayatu dunya la'ibun wa lahwun wa zinatun wa tafakhurun bil amwali wal awladi wa takathurun fil amwali wal awladi." Allah said, the word of this world or the life of this world we live is not more than one of these 8 things that is mentioned in this verse. It is just about what? Play, amusement, and to boast about what you have in this life, and to compete in worldly things and with children. Allah said, but that is not the most important thing. That is not what is more important. Allah also mentioned Surah Al-Imran. Allah says, "Suyyina lin-nasi hubbu shahawati min an-nisa wal banina wal qanatir al-muqantarati min adh-dhahabi wal fidda wal anhami wal arth." Dhalika what? Allah said, all these things that you get attached to, all these things that is beloved to you, all these things that you spend your time, your energy, your resources, all these things that you are wasting your time on. Allah said, "Mata'ul ayati dunya." It is an enjoyment of this world. The word mata, it means enjoyment, but the enjoyment that is what? That is inferior and short-lived. It is inferior and it is what? Short-lived. So, and this is not something that we need anybody to explain to us. So, let's imagine the person that have the highest form of enjoyment in this world. The highest form of enjoyment. So, it cannot in any way be compared to the least person to be rewarded in Jannah. There's no comparison. And if because of this world, you now abandon the hereafter, you abandon the reason why you have been created. Allah says, وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فَتَوَاصَوْا. Allah is taking an oath with the time. And that is to tell us that the most important thing in our life is our time. Allah is swearing with the time that every human being is going to be in loss. Why are we going to be in loss? It's because of our preoccupation. It's because of what we are spending our time on. It's because of what we are acquiring. It's because of the accumulation of material things. And when we talk about material things actually, or living or looking at it from the material's perspective actually, it is not something that is accidental, but it is not something that happened without plan and programs or ideology of some satanic individuals or groups, like we mentioned, that affiliation to satanic groups yesterday and last week. There are actually groups. In fact, there are movements that they call Al-Madiyya. Al-Madiyya or materialism. Like we have all this ideology, capitalism, socialism, secularism, all those ideologies. We also have an ideology they call what? Al-Madiyya. That is materialism. Their principle is that sin is believing. Their principle is what? You only believe what you see. Whatever you don't see is not believable. And to them, since you cannot see God, it means Allah doesn't exist that on their mouth. And they have three fundamental principles that guide them. And before we go there, actually we can digress a bit. This particular movement or ideology, like we mentioned, it is actually a deliberate and conscious attempt of some certain group of people to engineer people socially. So there are people they call social engineers. You may not know them, but they exist. If somebody should ask us, one of us, that what informed the type of clothes you wear, so everybody will assume or we say that is my choice. That is what I wish to wear. But if I tell you that is not your choice, will you agree? Most of the things you do, it is not your choice. It is the societal choice. The manner in which we dress, in those days, some years back, maybe a year or some centuries back, the manner of dress of that time is not the same thing, the same manner in which we dress today. If you are to dress in the same way people dress in that day today, you will look odd. You will look what? Odd. And you will not want to look odd. You want to what? You want to have self-esteem. You want to be relevant. So you want to do what the society subscribes to. Now tell me, are you not being influenced by the society? You are being influenced. That is one. Another thing, if you have to be removed from this society and taken to another society, even in this our modern age, that their own culture is totally different from this specific society you have, you will always want to look like the people of the society you find yourself. That's human being. That's one. Another thing, that actually may be some level to be natural. What we have done, an example we have given now. But there are still some conscious efforts and systems of some people that they want people to think, to live, to behave in a particular way. They are the one that is deciding the way we live, the way we talk, even the way we speak. But you may not realize it, but this is a reality. Like you mentioned, they are what? Social engineer. They engineer everything, every social thing that is happening. And this modern world we have today, you can imagine the level of advancement in technology and media. In those days, it is just television or something of that nature. But today, you have many social media where you can interconnect with people no matter their distance from you on the earth surface. And not only that, if they want you to be dressed in a particular way today, if they want member of the society to assume or to have a particular fashion style, they will go and design the style, the fashion style. Then they will go to the media. They will use all type of media, print media, whether media, social media, whatever. They will promote it there. They will announce it. People will see it there, and as if it is a magic, everybody will start to wear to dress like that. especially female. This is what we see every day. Today you see people dressing half naked. Ask them, where did they see it? Is it from their home? This is what they see on television, what they see on the social media, what they see in the society. And that is what we are saying, that some people are actually engineering it. Even the way we think, even the way we behave. Everybody want to emulate or want to look like some other people. But Quran is a culture on its own. Islam is a system of life on its own. It actually doesn't want us to emulate or to look like people that are different from Muslim. That is why Prophet Sallallahu said, "Man tashabbaha biqawmin." So if you take over some other people's culture, then you be counted among them. You be regarded as part of them. So Islam is a culture. Islam has a way of life. It has a way of life for everybody. There is no part of our life that Islam has not talk about, has not discussed, has not tell us how to do it, has not told us how to do it. So we just talk about fashion style, isn't it? Islam has its own fashion. It has its own. Though Islam will not tell you the textile material you use, but it will tell you how you are supposed to dress, both male and female. Islam will tell you the type of dress or the type of fashion, textile that is permissible and the one that is not permissible. It will tell you the type of fashion enhancement that is permissible and that is not permissible. But today, nobody wants to know what Quran and Hadith say. Nobody wants to know what the Sunnah or what the Islam is saying. What they want to know is what the society is saying. And this is part of the plan of the what? Al-Mahdi. This materialistic. This is one of their plans. This is how they work. And like we have said, one of their belief and one of their principle is that sin is what? Is believing. So under this, they have three certain principles. One of the principles is what? Matter. And the second one is what? Is consciousness. And the third one is what? Transcendence. What they mean by matter is that you only believe matter means what you can see, what has mass, and you can weigh. Anything that doesn't exist or that cannot be regarded as matter is not in existence. In other words, they were directly going against Al-Ghaib, or Iman bil-Ghaib, which is fundamental. So if you believe in this, it means you are no more a Muslim. So fast, so easy. Because fundamental belief system in Islam is what? Alladhina yu'minuna bi what? So you have to have Iman in Ghaib. ليس البر أن تولوا وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب ولكن البر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر. يوم الآخر is one of the ghaib. Nobody has been here. We are told about it. It's one of the ghaib. Allah himself is one of the ghaib. But if you say it's only matter what you can see, what you can weigh, what has mass, and it can be weighed or it occupies space, that is what is regarded as something that is existing. They don't even care about how it exists. The second one is what? Consciousness. That consciousness is all about your brain. So our consciousness is about our what? Mental process. The process of our brain. Anything outside that is not considered valid. In other words, matter, brain, and what? And when it comes to transcendency, their belief is that there's nothing transcendent. There's nothing like anything transcendent. There's nothing like something will happen after this life. We come to this life, we live, and we die, and that is what? That is all. In fact, Quran pointed to that. They mention in Surah Al-Sukhruf, they say, وَمَا يُهْلِكُنَا إِلَّا. They said, this is our life. We live, we enjoy, we live, we die. After that, there's nothing again. Nothing will kill us or nothing will be of us except for time. That's all. No more, no less. This is one of the belief system of what could be materialist. And another part of their belief is that they want us to accumulate the material things. And that is the aspect from which this book is actually talking about. When somebody is attached or get attached to materialism, to something material, it is very difficult for such a person to be what? To be upright, to be a mustaqim, to have to stand right the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants him to stand. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu in a number of places, Allah told him that he should never be deceived or carried away by material world. Allah said, وَلَا تَمُدَّنَّ أَيْنَاكَ إِلَى مَا مَتَّعْنَا بِهِ أَزْوَاجًا مِّنْهُمْ. Is that what? It is an enjoyment of this life. Allah told Prophet Muhammad, you know, like human beings sometimes, when you see glitterings of this life, when you see beautiful things, you see worldly things, it look attractive. Sometimes you may be what? You may be attracted. You may also want it. You may also want to desire it. But Allah told Prophet Muhammad, do not be carried away by such kind of thing. Allah said, in another place, Allah said, وَلَا يَغْرُرْنَكَ تَقَلُّبُهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ فِي الْبِلَادِ. Their prosperity, their power, their progress, their worldly development should not be deceived. You should not be carried away by the progress they are making in this world. Now, Quran is not denying or is not refuting the fact that they are making worldly what? Progress. Quran is not denying that. But Quran is telling us that every Muslim should be conscious of the fact that you have a purpose on this life. You are not here to accumulate wealth. You only accumulate wealth in order to achieve your purpose. If you fail in that regard, then you are a failure for life. But what we are saying actually, we should not misunderstand it. It's not that we should not find a way of getting what is our portion of this, our portion in this world. Like Allah also mentioned in Surah Al-Qasas. Do not forget that is you can also acquire worldly things, but the reason why you do so is to what? Is to be able to achieve the purpose of the creation. You eat food to get energy. You get energy in order to worship Allah. You acquire knowledge in order to be informed, in order to be enlightened, in order to be enlightened, in order to know the right path, in order to know Allah. Allah said, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ. So, if you don't have knowledge, you cannot fear Allah. You can only fear Allah when you have what? And some people actually think maybe the knowledge Allah is talking about here is the knowledge of Quran, knowledge of this, isn't it? But look at the beginning of that fast, where that fast ended. The beginning is that Allah said, أَلَمْ تَرَوْا أَنَّ اللَّهَ أَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ فَأَخْرَجْنَا بِهِ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ وَمِنَ الْجِبَالِ جُدَدٌ بِيضٌ مُخْتَلِفٌ أَلْوَانُهَا وَغَرَابِيبُ وَمِنَ الْأَنْعَامِ وَمِنَ النَّاسِ وَالْأَنْعَامِ وَالدَّوَابِ وَالْأَنْعَامِ مُخْتَلِفٌ أَلْوَانُهُ كَذَلِكَ. So after Allah mentioned that, Allah now said, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ. So the beginning of that verse says, Alam Taro. The word Alam Taro is all about knowledge. It's all about having acquiring knowledge. It's all about deep insights, studying something critically, something intellectually. That is the meaning of Alam Taro. Allah told Prophet Alam Taro kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. What Prophet was just 50 days when the incident of when the incident failed, it was just 50 days in this world. So how will you not tell me a child of that age will understand what is happening? Now Allah is telling me Alam Taro. Was Allah saying, can't you see? Is that the meaning? Can't you study? Can't you reflect? Can't you understand? Can't you imagine? And who can imagine? Who can study? Who can reflect? Somebody who is informed. So now, after Allah mentioned all these things in this verse, Allah now said, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ. So Allah mentioned, Allah sent down rain. Allah made vegetation to grow. The mountain, animals, plants, human beings. All these are what? They are knowledge that we study. But today, another problem in this world today is that we have been made to believe that there's something they call fragmentation of knowledge. That is, knowledge has been fragmented, that we have separated every knowledge from Quran. But Quran, Allah is the source. Allah knows samawati wal ard. No knowledge, no matter the way you see it, comes from any other place except from Allah. And it's part of the Quran. It's part of what Allah taught His prophets. In those days, before 16th century, all the scholars of that time, they were polymaths. All the scholars before the 3rd century Islamic calendar, 4th century, all from that time backward, all of them, they study and master many sciences. Today, when they author encyclopedia, If you go and see the contributors, if you read an encyclopedia Americana, Encyclopedia Britannica, if you read them, you see thousands of contributors. But in those days, just one or a whole volume, 30 volume, 50 volume encyclopedia, only one person. And this encyclopedia, we taught all aspects of life, including cosmology, agriculture, science, geography, geology, and it's only one person. And this is also Ibn Fasir, Al-Quran. These are the scholars of justice. But today, we have been deceived. We have been told that you have to specialize in this. You have to go like this. Knowledge has been fragmented. Of course, there may be a valid reason to some extent where there's need for what? For division of labor, like the area of medicine and pharmacy in Islamic world, because those knowledge today people believe they are developed to the Western world, but they are originally from Islamic world. So in those days, it was an individual that we attend to patients. I'm talking of Islamic history now. If we attend to patients, and he will be the one to what? He will be the one to examine the patient. He will be the one to what? To recommend and to prescribe drug, and you'll be the one to what? To administer the drug, to give the drug. But when there is what? Proliferation and increase in population of patients, people he has to attend to, he think that there is need for what? Somebody to be assisting me. So he said, okay, me, I will examine the patient, I will study what is needed. You, when I will write what you need, go and study this plant and give him and administer to him. And this is how it started. Then later, the area of pharmacy or administration of drug is separated from what? It started Islamically, actually from the Islamic world. So that one may be a valid reason, but there are some aspect that is actually a deliberate attempt to make us to lose many knowledge. Imagine somebody studying Quran, but we never understand what Allah is talking about. Because Allah is talking about geography, Allah is talking about weather, Allah is talking about sun. But you have never studied this thing, and you think you understand, Wallah, you cannot understand it. You can never understand. Because Allah is talking, somebody who has not studied geography, who has not talking about the revolution and rotation of the earth of the moon, they are already in position. How the time? If we should ask you, how many months are we supposed to have in a year? Some people will claim it's supposed to be 13 months. Up to today, we still have some country, like Ethiopia, that is using 13 months per year. And there are some people that believe it's supposed to be 13 months because they believe there is 28 what? There's 28 days in a month. And if we count 28 days in a month, it means we have, by the time we count 28 times 13, it will give you 264, which is a year. Even if we go by solar calendar. And so some people, if you go by what? By lunar calendar, it will still be what? 13 months. But Allah says, Inna iddata shuhuri inda Allah is now what? Fi kitabillah. Yawma what? Allah says, it's not something recent. It's not something I just decided. Yawma khalaqa samawati wal ard. It has been there for the first day this earth exists. It has already 12 months. The question is, why is it 12 months? Why? The reason is that, the meaning is that, the reason why it is 12 months is that the number of time it will take Earth to revolve around the sun when the sun completes its own revolution on its orbit, in its orbit, like Allah said, kullu fi falakin yasbahun. The number of times the Earth will revolve around the sun is 12 times. So now tell me, somebody reading this verse in the Quran, and he doesn't understand this, do you think he will understand what Allah is saying? He will never understand it. All this knowledge of Allah. And Allah is actually referring. That is what Allah said, الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِهِمْ وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي مَاذَا؟ خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ. Who will be able to do tafakkur fi خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ? Even though somebody that studied that. If they say when Allah has been talking tafakkur fi khaliq samawat, many people will think, look, you will not be able to get, in fact, you will get tired of doing tafakkur because you don't even understand what is going on there. But when you have knowledge of what is going on there, fi samawat wal ard, so tafakkur will be easy. Tadabbur will be easy. You only be able to do tafakkur and tadabbur when you understand the concept. Now somebody who does not even understand how it works, how will you be able to do tafakkur? In fact, you will stop, you will even not be able to do it. And this is a great form of ibadah. Tafakkur and tadabbur, wallah, is fundamental part of our Islam. Because you cannot get to the aim or to the objective without doing tafakkur. You will not have clarity of purpose except you do tafakkur and tadabbur. And when you tafakkur, before you can be able to do tafakkur, you have to understand the concept. So this is Islam, and this is how Islam actually works. So from here, these materialists. So they made us to believe that we only need what? We only need the worldly materials to survive, and after that, there's nothing in the hereafter. So they say there's nothing like transcendency. So everything ends in this world. But Allah said no. This life, they have been overcome. Allah said, I only created you to test you. But this is not even your what? This is not your point. This is not where you are going. You are actually going somewhere, and that is the hereafter. So, and if you have not worked for the hereafter here, you will fail here and you will fail there. So the meaning is that you have been deviated and you have lost the path. How? When? It's because of the materialistic point of view, materialistic way of looking at it. And the simple and the direct and the easy solution to all this problem is actually to what? To understand the Quran. To understand the book of Allah. If somebody understands the book of Allah and the way it's supposed to be, so this material thing we are talking about will not be a problem. And we should not misunderstand Quran or Islam or the point we are discussing. The point we are discussing is not actually that somebody should denounce or detach himself from this world. No. Everything in this world is created for us. Wallahi, Allah created it for us. Allah said, "Kul man harrama zinata Allahi allazi akhraja li ibadihi wat-tayyibat min ar-rizq." Who is forbidding my good things that I've created in this world? It has been created for who? For the mu'minun. On the day of Qiyamah, even though in this world, the kuffar, the munafiqun, whatever, they will enjoy with them. The reason why they are enjoying because of it. But on the day of Qiyamah, it's going to be specifically and especially for the mu'minun. Allah also mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah said, "Alladhi khalaqa lakum ma fil ardi jami'an." Is the one that created everything in this world for you. He said he has created everything in this world what? For our enjoyment. For us to what? To be good, to be comfortable. No, I'm actually referring to verse 27 or 28 in Surah Al-Baqarah. كيف تكفرون بالله وكنتم أمواتا أفأحياكم ثم يميتكم ثم يحييكم ثم إليه هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا. That's where I'm going. He said, "Who الذي خلق لكم what?" He's the one who has created everything in this world for who? For you. Then, how can we reconcile? The meaning is that your purpose of this life is to worship Allah. So, you acquire what you need to acquire in order to worship Allah. Not you acquire those things for acquiring sake. Or for the worldly reason. No. That's the difference between a mu'min and a kafir. A mu'min will strive and a kafir will strive. But a mu'min is striving in order to acquire so that he'll be able to what? To achieve the purpose of his existence. But the kafir is actually striving for what? For striving sake. For worldly reason. So may Allah safeguard and protect us and guide us and give us better understanding of religion. And may Allah forgive us wherever we have made mistakes. And may Allah count us among His good servants and admit us into His Jannah. I've been notified that our time is up. Inshallah, we'll support this one and continue next week. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
جزاكم الله خيرا.
Alhamdulillah, wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. That's what my ta'ala to God that we stand abundantly and preserve for goodness and also count us better understand of our religion. If there's any question, should signify this. No question. Now, in the absence of no question, inshallah, we'll stop here for today. We'll continue next week by the same time, inshallah. We ask Allah to forgive our shortcomings and grant us goodness this dunya and hereafter. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.